Monster Talk Radio. You're in to all things music.
Welcome to Rekt Reviews, movies and entertainment analysis using the latest in beer goggle technology. And here are your dubiously qualified hosts, Eric, Paul, and Shark. Well, howdy-ho.
Hello, my name is Paul, and I'm a Marvel movie addict.
A Marvel movie addict?
Hi, Paul.
For how many years now has it been?
It's
since your first Marvel movie.
Well, I can tell you how long it's been since my last movie. It's been about an hour and a half.
It all started with my first screening of Iron Man. It's been a downhill spiral ever since.
It's really a peer pressure issue for me. I never really want to get into this, but a bunch of people always make me do this, and I just want to seem cool.
It's classic and excellent movie marketing because I want to see every Marvel film that comes out. I want to see Infinity Wars when it comes out. I definitely want to see Black Panther. But I have no. I go into it going, yeah, this is going to be garbage. So
I say we take the next year off of Marvel.
That's what they all say. So I mean, there's really kind of a parallel here between Marvel movies and alcoholism. Like you guys always drag us to see these things, and then you're always like remorseful right afterwards.
By the way, we should state that the Gorgonite herself is with us on the phone.
That's right.
Hello, Amy.
Hey guys.
What's going on?
Yes. Not much. I'm calling from Asgard right now. Sorry I couldn't be there.
It's probably
so you're calling from the people or the place?
I'm
Shots fired.
I'm calling from the place before all the shenanigans happened.
Gotcha.
Okay.
So I'm calling from the past.
So Carl Urban let you through and then showed you his guns, I guess.
You know what?
Right.
It wasn't until the end of the movie that I figured out that was Carl Urban.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't even put it together, and I was like, I thought the guy looked familiar. That's Bones.
Oh.
Judge Dredd.
Ladies and gentlemen, we're talking about Thor Ragnarok.
Oh yeah, yeah. Let's introduce this movie.
Yes. I was so excited to watch this movie just for the Gladiator Hulk.
Yes.
And now that has happened.
Which brings me to the first problem with this movie. This was like a long wind up to that scene in the movie. It seemed like it was kind of like the central punchline, and they gave it away right.
They
in the
spoiled
trailer.
it, yeah. They wanted Mark Ruffalo out like promoting it, so
right.
But yeah, that would have been a good reveal.
Other scenes with the Hulk you could have used, and they threw the best punchline away right from the get go. That kind of pissed me off.
Well, you know what? Like, because I know that Amy, you said this before that when the film was the first trailer came out months ago, you said that you were very excited about that battle between Thor and the Hulk, and it was very underwhelming. It was like it wasn't even really a battle. It was just like kind of a plaything.
I liked it.
I thought it actually. I didn't think it was underwhelming. Personally, I really thought that was a long sequence of a battle for me personally.
I know what Shark's problem is. We're all a bunch of like little sissies that haven't been in a real fight either ever or in a very long time. And Shark kind of sees this kind of conflict probably on a weekly basis. So this was pretty underwhelming for him.
He's probably already seen Hulk and Thor fight.
Yeah,
at one of his bars.
I was like, I've been in much better bar brawls than this.
Shark's thrown Hulk and Thor out of bars before.
Dude, Shark is the Hulk. I mean, let's just come to that agreement.
If I don't have my Southern comfort, I can Hulk out every now and then. By the way,
the sun is setting, Shark. The sun is setting.
What are we
Everything's
all
gonna be okay.
Yeah. Oh God.
We completely threw this format out.
Yeah, we forgot to say what we are. This is the Rekt Review, and we are getting wrecked. So, what are we all drinking, Eric?
I have a beer. I think I've had it on here before. It's called Thick as Thieves. It's a collaboration between Mason Ale Works and Pure Project.
Nice.
So, yep.
Thick ass thieves. I like that.
Yeah. Thick ass thieves. Yeah.
Thick ass thieves. I'm drinking sake. Hakuturu draft sake.
Ooh.
Ooh, you fancy, huh?
I'm fancy today.
I have from the Council Brewing Company a Beatitude pineapple tart.
Nice.
And it is quite
that?
delicious. Quite delicious. I got it right next door at the San Diego Wine Company. They have a nice little craft beer selection.
Yeah, they got a lot of good stuff there.
Yeah, it'll be
Surprisingly.
It was
At least for me.
surprisingly expensive beer.
Oh,
but,
yeah. I don't doubt that.
But it's damn good. It's worth it.
And Amy, you were suddenly called into work on a Sunday afternoon. So what are you drinking?
Oh, well, I can say I drank a lot of cranberry and vodka last night.
So you're still going.
Technically, that's still in my system.
There you
but
go.
now I'm loading up on the Gatorade. But still hungover, and I think I'm still a little drunk. So I think it's still qualified.
You're qualified. Yeah. In fact, you're ahead of us by a few hours. So.
It is the best way. It is the best way to review this movie. So,
well, cheers.
Cheers to everyone. So,
cheers, kampai.
What do we think? I can tell you for myself. While I was watching this movie, all I could think was, I hate this movie.
Really?
Yeah. I hated it all the way through, and I hated it when I left. But as I drove home, I was like, okay, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. I just don't like it very much, and I don't dislike it.
Tune in next week when Shark comes around to loving this movie.
Well, no, you know what? So you have to. For me, what you have to do with this movie.
Did you laugh at all? Did you laugh at all? Like any single time?
I did.
Not
I had a few
really.
moments where I chuckled.
You know what? I may have chuckled when the Hulk was trying to be funny because it's just so off kilter, you know. Mm-hmm. But what I came around to, I was like, you have to understand that they're shooting a comedy. They're not trying to make a Marvel movie, you know, like it usually is. They were going
for a Guardians kind of thing.
They were, exactly.
I was surprised how much. I'm surprised how much they let the director do his own thing.
Yeah,
with this, which was kind of refreshing, I guess.
But he very much did his own thing. But it's just like what Paul was talking about before we started. Every one of these movies makes like $300 million, so they're like, do whatever you want. I mean, as long we have the characters, people are going to come see it. So you want to make a full on comedy, knock yourself out.
Well, I feel like some are like probably maybe the Avengers ones are a little more constrained, or like I don't know, like that. Last Captain America one seemed very by the numbers. Yeah,
well, it seems like with this one they wouldn't have had much to lose because Thor movies, they're kind of like on the lower totem pole of all these Marvel things. So
he used to be my least favorite Avenger. Now he's not.
I actually always like those movies. I know you guys always tend to hate on them, but I never really had a problem with them, and they were kind of humorous. Maybe definitely not as comedy heavy as this one, but I don't know. I kind of like the vibe of this,
which is why I had to say I don't hate the movie because it never took itself too seriously,
right?
Yeah.
And then some of the Avengers and especially Iron Man,
dude, Goldblum. This had Goldblum. That's already a win.
Listen,
yes,
yeah. Amy, what did you think overall?
Oh my God! Can we have more Jeff Goldblum, please? That's all I want. I want more Jeff Goldblum.
I think he may be dead. According to the bumper at the end. I don't know if you guys stayed.
Yeah, I stayed
through the credits.
Jeff Goldblum was. Go ahead.
Please don't tell me that Jeff Goldblum molests women.
No,
I don't think I could survive that one.
Jeff Goldblum was very Jeff Goldblum in this movie.
I've never seen him do anything else.
Yeah.
But he ratcheted it up to like 10.
Yeah. Sorry, Amy, go ahead.
He actually, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. I get excited with Jeff Goldblum. Okay, so for me personally, I liked his character, and I just liked his humor. It was just really kind of, I just really enjoyed it with him being in it. You know, me personally, okay, Thor 1, let's start with Thor 1 and 2. 1 was meh. Thank God Natalie Portman, love her, but I'm glad she was not in this movie. Mm-hmm. I just thought between the first two, I really enjoyed the third one out of the first two, to be honest. Right. The humor, I liked the humor. There were some parts where I thought they were kind of overdoing it just a tad bit, you know, but I enjoyed. Okay, first let's talk about Doctor Strange making an appearance. Spoiler, that was unexpected. So that was kind of cool that he made an appearance. And then, Jeff Goldblum. And then the ending, the ending sequence, I wasn't impressed with it, to be honest with you, where you stayed after the credits.
Yeah.
I thought it could have been much better, but that's me.
You know, it seems like this is it is a standalone film, but it doesn't really have anything to do except for the fact, like at the end, that the spaceship or whatever they ran into is Thanos' ship.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have anything to do with the whole. It doesn't bring together any of the other movies. Like,
Yeah.
you know, there's nothing going on there that where they're like, oh, this is what's going to happen next.
It's essentially a movie poster, a glorified movie.
That's
poster.
what it is. And like Amy, you were just talking about Doctor Strange being in it. That's advertising for. Oh yeah, there's going to be another Doctor Strange movie, so we gotta. We got to throw him.
Don't forget
in
about him. He's a superhero.
Yeah, they got to throw the Sorcerer Supreme in there.
I'm surprised they didn't throw an Ant-Man because they're doing an Ant-Man movie next year.
They're doing another one of those.
Yep.
Oh, for God's sakes!
There's three
when is it
Marvel
gonna
movies. God, never. We'll be long dead before these.
Amy, were you able? You went to the like Comic-Con sort of thing up in Los Angeles, didn't you?
Uh-huh.
Did you?
Yeah, I did. I went to Stanley's thing.
Did you see the Infinity Wars trailer?
No, I don't even know if they showed it, to be honest with you, because they don't do a whole lot of. The only thing they did when I was there was when Dwayne Johnson came in and showed, I guess, an updated trailer for Jumanji, but there was nothing like, Infinity Wars wise. I think that was more of the Comic-Con aspect when they did that.
Yeah, you can.
But yeah, no, I mean it. Go ahead.
You can see it online, but I mean, you can barely see it. It's like somebody took a video of it while they were but like it's a trailer.
It's like, who cares?
Well, yeah, and there's basically there's like 18 superheroes in the trailer. They just show everybody, and through it, and that's all it was. It's like they showed Thor and everybody clapped, and then they showed Iron Man and everybody clapped, and then they showed Doctor Strange and everybody clapped. So it's
like, yeah, we all know. Whatever movies are produced now, they're all going to be in it, plus characters we haven't been introduced to.
They got to start killing them off, man, because there's too many people.
Right.
Who goes first?
Iron Man. Robert Downey Jr. is so
Iron
done
Man.
with this stuff.
Okay.
Well, apparently the only reason he keeps doing it is because he makes like an outlandish, like, yeah, give me $70 million. They're like, okay, you got it.
Yeah.
And I mean, I got to say, if I was him, I'd be like, yeah, I can't turn that down.
I feel like Doctor Strange is just Tony Stark. So I
is.
feel like he's just a carbon copy. So
every
that's
character
be weird of them having to be like together in the same scenes.
We'll just start making out with each other. And then,
every one of the characters is just another character.
They're gonna be like, I kind of like you for some reason.
Yeah,
I know.
Yeah. I mean,
You want to kiss?
Yeah, they're all like any young like Ant-Man is basically Spider-Man. He's like, oh, I don't understand my powers. In the Justice League, the Flash is Spider-Man. He's like, I'm a young guy. I have all these new powers, and I just feel so awkward, And it's like, oh, get over it, Jesus.
But all right, so Amy obviously likes this movie.
What did you guys think of it?
Hated it.
Yeah.
Well, we know your view, Shark. You hate everything.
You know what I really did like, and maybe I'm weird, but I thought Cate Blanchett was so sexy in this movie.
She's super hot, yeah.
She was
Helena.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
She was. Just.
I've always liked her, anyways. But
I always did too. I haven't seen her in anything
recently.
Really recently in a while. And I'm like, wow, she's still hot.
She's like 48 or something like that. But,
something like that. I thought she was the best thing in the movie.
Yeah, I wish.
She plays a really good villain.
I wish she had more to do. Like, I thought it was kind of I really liked her in it, but I wish she had more to do. Like, they had to split the time between her and Goldblum because they were kind of like the two bad guys in this.
Did you guys get the feeling that there really wasn't a plot? It was like we're going to do. It's like the pitch was we're going to do a comedy movie with Thor and the Hulk.
Or like Thor needs his lightning powers.
Yeah, and it's going to take place on Asgard, and so go from there.
I mean, I didn't get a sense that this has any less of a plot than your standard Marvel movie.
I like that. Like they weren't trying to save New York.
Oh,
I'm glad New York wasn't really in this thing very much.
Asgard is the
and they're
new
still
New York.
talking about it in this movie too. They're still like with Hulk. He's like, oh yeah, that was 2 years ago. It's like, okay, can we stop, please?
You know what? One of the things I really can't stand about these movies is that they always like these people, like say Superman, or because we're talking about Thor. Thor is supposed to be like invincible with this hammer, but it's like there's always somebody that kicks his ass, and then like later on, it's like, oh, you don't. It's like the Karate Kid. It's like, oh, you don't realize your true powers.
It's inside you.
It's inside you. It's like,
Yeah.
okay.
Did
really?
you throw up in your popcorn bag like when the stupid line came up? You're like, God,
Yeah.
are we really doing this?
And then like so the cameo with Matt Damon and
Oh my god!
The funniest joke was there was a Hemsworth playing Thor for that.
Yeah.
That was my favorite joke
that's
of the whole movie.
his oldest brother or something like that. And then the I can't remember what the other guy's name is, the one who was playing Odin.
Sam O'Neill?
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah,
Jurassic Park
Jurassic
guy?
Park.
Yeah. So it was just an all around thing, and like
That was funny. Those some heavy hitters for just like a little spoof scene.
Yep. That was pretty good.
and
It's
it's
like,
like
is
I
that
said,
Matt
so
Damon?
yeah, you just had to understand. Okay, this is a comedy. Once you let yourself know that, I don't have to worry about the other stuff. But I just didn't laugh. It wasn't.
I laughed a few times.
It wasn't funny.
I laughed a couple times. I thought it, for the most part, was funny. They kept doing some of the same jokes over in it, like the hammer joke.
Yeah.
Where it's either not there for him to get.
It's breaking a bunch of shit on the way over.
Yeah. It's
just
on
like,
the way.
all right, we've done this joke. We have to do it again. All right.
And what exactly is Loki's power? I know he's like the god of mischief or something like that. But what?
He can make a hologram self or something. I don't know.
It's just it's very strange.
Hey! If you had the superpower to turn yourself into Anthony Hopkins, you could get away with a lot of shit.
Oh, I would be the god of mischief. Yeah.
Just show up everywhere.
I feel like
He's like an illusionist. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Like nobody got their comeuppance. Like Loki wasn't held responsible for anything.
He never is. Like it's just like old Loki.
It's just, and Carl Urban too. I didn't feel like it really earned his little turn there at the end. I didn't really care about his character either. Though.
Yeah, that was some bullshit.
That guy, he has like he's the same character in every movie too. The guy with the grumpy face.
He's Judge Dredd.
Yeah, oh my god, just terrible. You know what? What was the Valkyrie? I liked her.
Oh, I didn't like her.
Oh yeah,
I liked her.
I liked her.
All right. Well,
I bet you liked her.
I'm glad you guys liked her. But
Why didn't you like her?
I didn't think she fit the role. Like I didn't buy her as this badass warrior, ever.
Mm.
Well, I did. I bought it, but I bought her as a warrior, like as a badass fighter, but more like a cholo UFC fighter.
Yeah,
not really as this Valkyrie character. But I thought she was pretty.
Again,
cool.
I have a theory of why Shark likes her. Is she reminds him of she's a boozer. She's like a drunken chick at a bar, and you feel the natural urge to protect her and get her home safely.
I guess so. Yeah, I guess that takes over every time I see something. So.
She's in Westworld, by the way.
Speaking of Valkyrie, let's talk about that Valkyrie animation scene where where they did that flashback. How beautiful was that?
That was awesome.
That looked really good.
I went to the bathroom for that one. I just caught the very end of it.
That was like the best. That was the best visual because I didn't think the visuals actually looked all that great in this movie, but
they really didn't. Yeah.
Like the planet was kind of kooky looking, and I was fine with that.
It was again kind of Guardians of the Galaxy, a lot of kind of like Technicolor stuff.
But like when they went to Norway, like that was just like a stupid green screen
what the hell was
of
that?
the ocean. It's just like this doesn't like you just
random.
had to have a sign that said Norway because there was nothing Norway about that.
And I bet the director was a little pissed at that because he's trying like, you know what? We have enough money to actually go to Norway to film this. We don't need a green screen. Let's actually go there. Or it was on the cliff somewhere.
Maybe they could only get those three actors together for like 3 hours. Or like, oh shit, we have to
probably
green screen this thing
because they're looking at their watch. Like, I got to be on the set of my next $1 billion movie in like 15 minutes. So can we hurry this along?
Now I'm looking at the cast online here, and it says Lou Ferrigno is in it. Was he like?
I didn't see Lou
he had like
Ferrigno.
Green shit all over him or something. How's Lou Ferrigno in it?
Yeah, he plays the Hulk.
But
No, I don't know.
I missed Lou Ferrigno in this.
Me too.
I remember seeing Stan Lee. He was the barber.
this was actually like the
was-
longest little cameo I think that Stan Lee's ever done.
Yeah, it was. He actually did a little acting instead of just being there.
Yeah.
I felt bad for the director, Taika Waititi or something like that, because I saw his one movie, the What We Do in the Shadows.
I love that movie.
That movie is hilarious.
Yeah,
that movie
He's
is
done a
absolutely
couple.
hilarious.
He's done two. I haven't seen the other one.
Yeah, and this one I thought he was just wasted. But I think he took it as a challenge. He's like, you know what, this is cool. I'm going to take a superhero and make it a comedy, but it just wasn't funny. So.
Yeah, like I should like this movie
overall,
more than I do because I thought it was funny and I like some of the subversive stuff they did, but I don't know, it fell flat for me, which is kind of a bummer because I was looking forward to it. I was like, oh, it's going to be like an '80s comedy of Thor,
a buddy comedy.
Yeah,
I thought it was going to be like 48 hours, just Thor, but it's Thor and Hulk. You know, so, and I like Hulk. Hulk's my favorite character.
I like Hulk too
because the Hulk is like, he's like, yeah, I don't fly, and I don't have all this stuff. I'm just a big giant person that beats the shit out of people.
Yeah.
That's what I do.
Outside of the fight, which I didn't like, I liked Hulk in this. I was kind of, and I like Mark Ruffalo, but I was kind of bummed when he turned into Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah,
I was just ready to get off that planet at that point. I'm just like, can we get this thing rolling? Like I felt like they kind of hung out there too long.
Yeah, I was dragged out a little bit.
Well, that part too. It's like it's supposed to be this inescapable gladiator planet. They escaped pretty easy.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, go this way instead of that way, and there just happens to be a ship down there.
Yeah, they just don't care. The movie just doesn't care about a lot of that stuff.
Yeah, well, you know what? So I think one of the biggest problems with all the Marvel films, and it's a problem for myself as a viewer. It's not a problem for the studio at all. They have to make these movies so that kids also like them.
Yeah,
especially kids. I don't think they really care that much if adults like the movie. It's just like,
that's
like
true. I mean, and it's
Yeah.
I got to give them credit. It's got to be hard to hit that mark where, like, if you have a super complex, like, thick plot, like if kids aren't going to be able to follow it.
For me,
No, but Logan was really, really good, guys, and that was made for adults. You can do it and make a good movie.
I think all these, because the underlying thing with every superhero is that they are actually really dark characters. They've got problems, like like Batman, for instance. Like
they all have daddy issues.
Yeah, anybody who dresses up like this and runs around beating the hell out of people every night has got obvious problems.
Daddy issues.
They're all daddy issues, man.
All of them,
every single one.
But the only superhero movie that was ever made like 100% correct was The Crow. Because that was a dark character that they kept dark. There was nothing funny about that movie,
and nothing about his daddy really.
Yeah, he was
in The Crow.
Yeah, the Crow.
I haven't seen The Crow since the '90s.
The Crow was a.
We should rewatch it and wreck that.
Well, they're doing a remake. God. They're doing a remake, and
of course
they are.
Yeah, I don't think they should.
It's going to be Jared Leto.
No.
The thing with The Crow is it was about a dead guy. It was a guy who came back from the dead completely for revenge. That's all it was. And that's exactly the way they did.
I remember that movie being very of its time. I can't imagine it holding up very well.
I love that movie. I'll go on Netflix or download it and watch that movie.
Yeah, it's like The Matrix. Like The Matrix was very of its time too. I can't imagine that holds up very well.
I hated The Matrix.
Really?
Yeah. I thought every Matrix movie was so stupid. I was like, this is.
I saw that like when I was a freshman in college. I was like right at the right
me too.
point in my life to watch that movie.
Yeah, same here.
You know what it is? What I could never get over about The Matrix, the major line in that movie was, no one can ever say exactly what the Matrix is. And in the very next line, he would explain what the Matrix is.
What they knew of it.
Yeah, I always thought, I was like, this is very dumb. And then
that movie is not nearly as deep as it wants to be.
Yeah, add the tour de force acting by Keanu Reeves, and you're like, oh boy.
Dude, I was like you said, I was like 19 when it came out. It was pretty deep.
It was pretty great
as far as I was concerned.
Like the only point when that movie started to fall apart is when they made the second and third one. Yeah, and you're like, you can't make a trilogy out of this paper thin thing that you did.
I'm like 30 years older than you guys, so there you have that. Like, and all the Matrixes were done, but the last one, I was like, this is complete garbage. Like,
no, we're not 19 now, Shark.
Yeah. I'm 60 years older than all of you.
Old man Shark.
I am
You're
very
gonna be the
old.
guy that says, "Get off my lawn."
I'm that guy now.
He's like that shark you see like on National Geographic. That's like the oldest creature known in the ocean.
Yeah.
The jacked up looking thing with the jaws.
That is
like
definitely
this thing's
me.
been around for 60 million years.
That is definitely me. My whole attitude is whatever.
So what do you think, Paul?
I actually liked it. I thought it was pretty fun. I wasn't getting too hung up on the plot stuff. kind of a couple of pet peeves, like I said earlier, was the giving away the best part in the trailer.
They did the same thing with Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Bummer.
What was the?
Well, though they just showed that Harrison Ford was in it.
Oh,
It's a good thing I wasn't here to wreck Blade Runner.
And I could see both points, like from the studios part of it, like you got to get asses in the seats. So if you put Hulk versus Thor in a gladiator arena, people are going to go. Like, so just think about like the four of us probably. They made like $50 off of us, and we didn't even like it. It sounds like so. I
didn't hate it. I mean, I'm. This is my third favorite superhero movie of the year, I would say.
All right.
I think
C plus.
My
it's a
biggest
solid
problem,
C plus.
Solid C plus.
Yeah.
My biggest problem with every single, with the exception of the Crow, I didn't even know there was a Crow comic book. I don't think there was one when I was a kid. But I used to read. Now, we talked about this before. I used to read these comic books, Superman and Batman, Spider-Man, and when the idea of making them into feature-length, real world films, I was very excited. They just haven't got it right. They never got it right. Like they have the technology to make these films exactly like the comic books, but they add Hollywood shit to it. Like it's like Tony Stark's got to be snide and funny, because
he's Robert Downey Jr.
Because he's Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
In the comic books, Tony Stark is not snide and funny. He's an asshole. He's an alcoholic, and he just goes around tearing stuff up, getting revenge. The Hulk is probably, up until this movie where the Hulk is being funny a little, the Hulk is like the only character that's just like the comic book, where he's this sullen guy who,
Oh, that's what I wanted to bring up. So he was pretty conversational in this one as the Hulk, and I've never seen that before. Does that violate any kind of comic book rules?
The Hulk doesn't talk.
Yeah.
The Hulk goes Hulk smash. That's what the Hulk does.
Yeah. And all the previous ones, that's the most you could get out of him.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I guess you could argue that if he's been stuck as the Hulk for 2 years, maybe he picked up a couple of things, like at least like a simple child.
Yeah. They threw out that whole like I'm always angry thing too.
Yeah.
From the Avengers, I think it was. Was that like where he's like, I'm always angry, so I can transform back and forth? But
yeah,
I guess that doesn't matter anymore.
Well, that's something that they didn't. I felt like they didn't explore in this movie. He was on that planet, supposed to be on that planet for like 2 years.
Well, he could transform into the Hulk whenever he wants, because he's always angry. But the problem is he couldn't turn back because they just kept aggravating him, I imagine.
But that's the thing. So apparently, like, he's been on this planet. He's been the Hulk for 2 years. But like you get there and he's basically happy because he's like I can just be the Hulk here and tear shit up. That's what I'm here for.
He probably never got to turn. They got that zapper thing on his neck, and if anytime he starts turning,
did he have a zapper?
I didn't.
I don't think he had a zapper.
I don't think he did.
I think he was on the planet and he was happy to be there. Like like you guys want to keep giving me people to beat up. Okay, that's great.
Yeah,
because he actually when he turned back into Dr. Banner. He didn't know who Valkyrie was,
right?
So he's been the Hulk this whole time, which I thought was cool. And they kind of discussed it because he said when Thor told him, he's like, no, that was 2 years ago.
Yeah,
and he had no idea that he had been there for that long. I thought they should have went in and maybe discussed why you're here. Oh, you're just happy being here because you can be the Hulk. Because everybody on Earth hates you. So
it's like, that's happened. Donald Trump's president now.
Yeah.
Man, lots gone down in 2 years.
That's why he just wants to stay there. He doesn't want to go back.
Come back and smash the White House, would you?
Hey, Amy, we got about 2 minutes left before we go into a commercial break. Do you want to stay on for the second segment, or do you need to get back to work?
Yeah, absolutely, because I want to talk about the devil's anus, actually.
Oh, God, yeah.
Well, we can talk about it now, we unless it's going to be like a whole essay that you got prepared.
And she also wants to talk about Thor the movie.
Kind of funny that they called it the devil's anus for like a kid. Like there was some adult and kid humor in it.
Yeah.
So
there was some kind of
there was an orgy joke.
Joke. There was like some pull your hammer pulling. It pulls you or something. There's some kind of like jerk off joke that they stuck in there.
I'm sure I was like, when they said that the first time in the movie, I must have been scratching my head for at least 10 minutes. I was like, did they just say devil's anus? Is that what they just said? I'm like, am I hearing that correctly? Well, but yeah, it was the devil's anus. So I think that's when I start calling the bar I work at. Yeah, welcome to the devil's anus night.
It's ladies' night.
Yeah, I'll stay on for sure.
I got to get a shirt that says that, the devil's anus. Amy, you can handle that, right?
Oh, I can handle anything,
There you go.
including the devil's anus.
You guys can play around in the devil's anus all you want. I want no part of it.
What are you doing tomorrow night, Shark? I'm going to be
bug.
tickling the devil's anus.
No, I just thought I thought it was unique. So I'll give it credit on that.
It is very.
It was
unique.
like a throwaway joke. It was fine.
Yeah.
I guess.
Everything in this was a throwaway joke. The whole movie was a setup for a joke. It was a setup for a punchline, usually for the Hulk to do. Even Cate Blanchett, who was supposed to be this evil person, was doing jokes. So,
Well, we're going to take a short break for commercial break. This is Rekt Reviews on Intertalk Radio. Hang around for just a couple of minutes. We'll be right back with more Thor, the Ragna-REKT.
are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.
You know what's all around you every waking moment of your life? Marketing. You're choking on it. I'm Scott Robertson, and when it comes to strategic PR, branding, and marketing, I've seen it all. And actually, I'm still seeing it because bad marketing never sleeps. Join me each week on May the Best Brand Win, right here on Intertalk Radio, and learn how to make the marketing for your brand unforgettable.
Hi, I'm Tim Dolbear, the host of Sound Experience on Intertalk Radio. Each week, I talk with top professional audio engineers, producers, musicians, and the manufacturers that make the tools that we use in the studio each and every day. From capturing the perfect take to mastering your final release, and the tools and how the pros use them, we are going to dive deep into their process and learn from their experience. I look forward to you joining us each week on Sound Experience with me, your host, Tim Dolbear.
This is Jackie Bertoni from Jackie's Groove. Come join me weekly on my journey through the music business as I take you behind the velvet rope, interviewing industry notables such as Al Di Meola, Michael McDonald, and Al Jarreau, to name but a few. Listen to their stories on being in the studios recording #1 hits and onto the stages throughout the globe. Allow me to be your music historian. You can hear me live every Monday at 2 p.m. and every Wednesday at 12 noon Pacific Standard Time or 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com. Ready to get your groove on?
Welcome to Rekt Reviews, movies and entertainment analysis using the latest in beer goggle technology. And here are your dubiously qualified hosts, Eric, Paul, and Shark.
And we're back.
And
We're
back.
here to make Ragnarok great again. Not Ragnarok, Asgard.
Asgard.
We want to make the apocalypse great again? Yes, let's do that.
I sort of got that as maybe, I don't know if that was intentional, but that was almost like a parallel where Cate Blanchett is like Trump and she's trying to make Asgard great again. Like make it like restore it to its imperial majesty.
I have a question. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Cate Blanchett gets her power from Asgard.
Where was she? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, and as we learn throughout this movie that Asgard is not a place, it's a people. So it blows up, but the people are safe. Does that mean like she still has power?
Well, she was getting her power from the flame, whatever.
No, that was the mask thing. I don't think that was her.
I couldn't figure out, is she dead at the end?
She got punched, but I doubt she's dead.
Yeah, it's one of those things.
I think
where
she is dead, actually.
They can.
I think
if
she's
they,
gone.
I hope
they
not.
need
They just wasted Cate Blanchett then. If they just killed her off.
If you don't see the body, then they'll be
Yeah.
back.
I
most
would
likely.
I would really love to have enough money to, in a franchise to be able to afford to have Cate Blanchett in just one movie.
I know.
It's like, yeah, we're going to put you
that's
in
on
there.
top of Anthony
And she's in it,
Hopkins.
what,
Yeah.
15 minutes, maybe? Like, she's not even in this thing very long.
She's not in there very much, and it should have had more of her. And
yeah, she was the coolest person in the movie.
She was the coolest person, and there should have been more of her dealing with Thor.
Yeah.
Like, it was, to be perfectly honest, Loki to me was wasted in this movie. He didn't even need to be in it. I thought.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The best thing he was in was I was falling for 30 minutes joke. That was the best thing he did in this movie.
The what joke? Oh, it's
Like he was falling for 30 minutes.
I must admit, when he said that, I was like, that's about as much as I laughed through the whole movie.
That was the high point for you.
That's the high point of Loki in this entire movie.
Yeah, and I'm, I just don't think there should ever be a film you go to where you're sitting in the theater going, God, when is this going to be over? Because at like more than a little before the halfway point, I was like, I'm staying now so I can see the after credit stuff. That's the only reason I'm staying.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we're doing this wrong. Maybe we shouldn't be drinking during the review. Maybe we should be drinking during the watching. Maybe you'd have better opinion of these things.
Much better.
I'm a little like fuck Marvel for making me wait through credits to see stupid shit. I'm kind of done with it. Like the last, like in Spider-Man, I hated it too. Like it wasn't worth watching. So I don't know.
Well,
what
Spider-Man
was Spider-Man again?
I liked Spider-Man. I thought it was better than this thing.
I didn't even see the after credit stuff in Spider-Man.
It was just Captain America. It was Captain America making a joke.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. No, actually, this one was worse than that. I thought this one was just dumb. Like there was no point to it. That's just me though. Like really, come on.
Has there been a good one? You
might as well just kept it to them focusing on, the big ship. You might as well just kept that at the end and taken this part out.
Yeah.
So, a question: has there actually been a good one?
You know what? When I think that the only really good one was at the end of the first Iron Man, when Samuel L. Jackson, when he came up and he basically said, "Have you heard of the Avengers Initiative?"
Yeah,
because that just set up the whole Marvel universe.
Oh no, Shawarma was the best one.
The Shawarma one's probably the only good one I can think of.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the Avengers, that was going to happen anyways. I didn't need a 20-second clip to tell me about it, but I don't know. That's the only good one I can really think of is the Shawarma one.
I heard that Black Widow was getting her own standalone film.
Does she attack people with her hair? Because she did that in one of the movies.
That's another problem I have with the Marvel Studios is I don't understand why Hulk and Black Widow are Avengers. Also with
you mean Hawkeye, right?
Hawkeye, and then what's
the human guys?
Yeah, what's the other guy? The Anthony Mackie. What's his character with the wings?
Archangel or something?
No, he's Tony Stark's guy.
He's like the poor man's Iron Man, right?
Yeah, I don't understand.
No, wait, Don Cheadle's the poor man's Iron Man.
Yeah, Don Cheadle's War Machine.
War Machine.
Yeah. But anyway,
you're talking about Falcon.
Falcon. Yeah. I don't understand why those three characters are. There are so many characters in Marvel that were actually Avengers. I don't understand why they're Avengers. There's nothing special about them, and you don't like. Whenever I see Hawkeye shooting arrows, I'm like, this is so stupid. Like, he's shooting arrows at like steel robots, and it's like an arrow is hitting a robot and taking it out.
Doesn't he shoot like an arrow that has Ant-Man on it? And then Ant-Man punches whatever's at the end of it?
Yeah. It just doesn't... there's one, I don't know which one it is. They're all the same, but where he runs out of arrows and then he hits somebody with the bow. I'm like, is the bow made of explodium too? Because like everything... It's just such a dumb character.
Well, if he has such a good shot, why doesn't he just upgrade to a gun? He can still be a good shot with a gun, right?
My thoughts exactly. And then, like, Black Widow, I don't think... Black Widow would be a great character for, like, her own movie, but not as an Avenger. Just a really good spy. Like Atomic Blonde. She's just like...
oh, man. Can we talk about Atomic Blonde? That was a good movie.
Oh, God. I thought that movie was terrible.
Oh, I loved Atomic Blonde.
It was terrible.
I've never even seen
it. It has...
Oh, Amy, don't waste your time.
Oh, it has that great that one fight scene that goes on for, like, 10 minutes without any cuts.
The fight scenes, to me, it looks like they looked at the first Bourne film, and they said, okay, let's do every fight scene from that movie, and let's just make it a woman. And then the rest of it was like, just throw in a lesbian scene here, and
there was a lesbian scene.
There's a lesbian scene in there.
There's a lesbian scene in it, yeah. She's a lesbian. So.
I liked Tom Blonde. I bought her as a physical fighting person versus like Gal Gadot, who I didn't buy at all.
Don't you talk about Gal like that.
Oh,
She's the greatest actress ever. did you see her on SNL? It was brilliant.
Oh
The
my
OJ
God.
that OJ bit was pretty good.
Hilarious.
It was brilliant.
But
The makeout scene between that was.
I like her and her little fish out of water scenes. I just didn't.
Yeah.
I didn't buy her punching anybody.
Well, that's because she's Wonder Woman. She has. I think we talked about this. That was one of my favorite things about Wonder Woman. They didn't make her this big buff, You don't need to be buff. Like Charlize Theron's not buff in Tom Blonde, but I believed her when she punched someone. You can believe her when she punches someone in Atomic Blonde because the idea behind that character is that she's been trained, and like a UFC fighter. Basically, she can do all that. Mm-hmm. The idea of Wonder Woman is that she's a goddess, so she can look. But she was trained by what's her name? Yeah. Well, when she's swinging swords around, I think it looks real. But I mean, Gal Gadot has obviously. We should probably talk about vexed Thor. Me and hypnotized me. So we should probably talk about Thor.
Let's talk about the Crow.
The Crow is the greatest.
I want to talk. I do want to talk about the Crow for a moment.
Oh, jeez. Let's talk about the Crow.
Okay.
I wonder if we can talk about Punisher after that.
A remake or a reboot of it. And
there should not be a remake.
For respect of Brandon Lee, because he got killed on the set of The Crow.
Yes.
And they did make The Crow 2 and 3, which were, I mean, come on, Edward Furlong, you're going to him and The Crow. You're stupid. Get out of here.
They were awful. They were awful.
But if there was to be a Crow remake, and you Amy had the power to choose the Crow, who's going to play the Crow, you have no choice in whether or not the movie gets made or not.
Gal Gadot.
But you get a choice of who's the lead. Who would you go with?
You know what? I really would have to think about this, because if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right. I'm not going to be like on top of my head. I can't give you an answer. Maybe the next session I'll have an answer for you.
I would reanimate Brandon Lee.
I would go with Jeff Goldblum.
I'm on a rumors website, and the rumors right now are Bradley Cooper.
Get the hell out of here!
No.
I thought you guys would love that.
No, Jeff Goldblum. I want Goldblum. No. Hear me out. So it's like 30 years later, or whatever.
I don't know who Luke Evans is,
and it's Goldblum. He's like a mature Crow.
Nothing mature about
my Jeffy.
I would literally go out and I would protest that movie. Please don't do this.
I would dismiss it, and I would hope it did horrible. And I hope no, they can't. I would
actually prefer a real life Crow.
Was Crow DC Marvel? Like what?
I think the Crow was a Dark Horse comic. I think
it was. It was a comic before the movie.
Yeah. It was Dark Horse, and it was like I said.
So they're not affiliated with DC or Marvel or anything.
I'm sorry.
Are they not affiliated with DC or Marvel?
I think
no.
They're like the Linux of comic books.
Yeah, but they have like the best.
Thanks, Paul. That's
sort of
I understand that
crazy comics. They should actually make more movies.
I appreciate that.
Amy, did you ever see The Dark Tower?
No, I heard kind of mixed things about it. But
you heard positive things.
Let Shark set you straight.
Oh yeah, there's nothing mixed about it. It's the worst movie ever made, and you should.
Oh, is it really?
But it was like I was telling you, it's so bad that you should see it. You have to see it to understand how truly bad it is. Like it's.
Is it worse than Covenant?
Yeah. I mean, from the very beginning, it is just horrible.
Dude, Covenant is not the worst movie ever made.
No,
it's close.
Covenant's terrible though. I'm trying to think of a worse movie I saw this year than Covenant. Covenant just pissed me off.
Covenant is Gone with the Wind compared to Dark Tower.
Oh wow!
But put it to you this way: if Covenant and Dark Tower were the only two films ever made in history,
nobody would go to the movies.
Oh no, Covenant would be considered the greatest film ever made, easily.
I'm surprised Shark likes Gone with the Wind.
I like Gone with the Wind because I'm a film student, and as a film, Gone with the Wind is
Gone with the Wind, fucking garbage.
It is garbage, but it's a historical film. You have to.
It's historical garbage.
So 40 years down the road, maybe all these movies that you hate now, you're gonna.
No, they'll still be terrible. Like none of these movies, like no Marvel film will ever go down in the annals of history as a great movie. I agree with that. The franchise will probably end up being the most profitable ever, but like the films themselves, people will be like, yeah, that was bullshit, but it made a lot of money. These movies now, these Marvel films are like the 80s action movies. They're like Commando and Cobra. You love those movies.
I kind of feel like they're their own thing. I can't think of anything that's done this before where it's just been like a franchise that puts out like 3 movies a year because they have such a wide cast of characters or whatever.
Well, because it's one of those things where it's such a juggernaut that everybody in Hollywood is like, yeah, I'll do it. I'd love to.
I just can't wait for it to fizzle out and we don't have to watch freaking superhero movies.
Well, I don't know where they're going to go.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to just stop printing money. Like, just because...
No, people will get tired of this eventually, right? Like, as soon as they have to change over actors, right?
No, because kids turn 8 every year.
Well, and they've already talked about the Young Avengers series where it's going to be...
There you go. They'll find a way.
Where it's going to be when Black Panther was 13.
God, that sounds...
No, you're right. I'm sure it will fizzle out at some point. It's got to. Nothing kind of runs forever, but... I don't think that it's necessarily going to end with whatever Infinity Wars.
We got 3. Oh no, I don't think so either. Stop. We got 3 Marvel movies this year. We're gonna have 3 next year. It's just 3 is too many. I don't want to watch that many people punching people.
But you always go watch
this damn show.
You know what's really hilarious to me is the Justice League movie. How the Avengers, like Marvel did Iron Man and Captain America, and then they did the Avengers, and it just blew up. So DC just decided we've got to do Justice League right now. So that we can contend with them, and they just
get it in there with no lube.
They just completely slap.
There's no foreplay in the Justice League.
Just ram it in there,
and it looks like that, and it looks so stupid because people know who the Flash is, and of course Wonder Woman, Superman, and Batman. Does anybody have any idea who the hell Cyborg is? Has anybody ever heard of that character?
Or Aquaman?
I have.
For that.
Yeah.
I have.
Yeah. And you know what? I read comic books as a kid. I've never heard of that character.
Was that the bad guy, or is that the good guy?
He's a good guy. He's in the Justice League.
Cyborg is a good guy.
Yeah, I don't even know who the villain is.
I think it's red. I think it's the color red. That's all I see when I see that trailer.
The trailer for Justice League just kind of looks like a clusterfuck, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
There's so much going on. And
Justice League clusterfuck.
I'm still gonna go watch it.
I'm gonna go see it. Yeah.
I'm curious as to why Aquaman is in the sky. I want to know the story behind that.
Because it would cost $50 billion to make a movie that's supposed to take place underwater.
He's got the power of the flying fish. You know about the flying fish?
The flying fish? Okay.
He's a mantis.
Oh man, the thing that bothers me about those the most is like Batman just doesn't seem like he's got any place in that clusterfucky universe. Like he's always kind of like he's supposed to be like solo brooding, just no magic, no superpowers, no lightning bolts. Like he's a detective. He's a crime fighter.
I think Ben Affleck plays an excellent Batman.
I like him as Batman.
I
think he wants out though. I think he hates it.
Yeah, isn't he crazy now? Yeah, hasn't he gone into an alcoholic haze and?
I don't know about that.
I don't know. I just heard that rumor. I don't know.
Yeah. I watched like 3/4 of The Accountant in a hotel the other night. It was pretty decent.
I saw that. It was pretty good. Well, they're doing and please somebody explain to me how they're going to do this. There's going to be a standalone Harley Quinn movie.
No.
Joker.
Yeah.
God, no.
How is that going to? How are they? What's going to happen there?
That's gonna that's gonna be a financial flop. Is what's gonna happen.
Well,
people will see it because they think she's hot. That's the only.
Yeah, but that's got to be the dumbest character, because I don't understand why she's like in the Suicide Squad. Why would they pick her? She's a crazy lady who used to be a psychiatrist. So yeah, let's put her in a squad of hitmen.
Gun to my head,
because she has a connection to Joker.
Gun to my head, I would watch a Harley Quinn movie before I'd watch a Jared Leto Joker movie.
Jared Leto's a really good actor.
Yeah, but he's the worst Joker that I've ever seen by far.
You know what? I don't think. I think that there's not going to be anybody who plays the Joker now is going to be, because nobody's going to be able to beat what Heath Ledger did. So
Yeah.
everybody's
Well,
gonna
like
be
I
judged
appreciate
on
like them
his-
trying to do like a different thing with it, but that was the worst thing in that movie.
Well, that whole movie was
That whole movie's
ever.
terrible,
Yeah,
but
that whole
but
movie's
that
terrible. Yeah.
but it was an interesting piece of shit movie.
Yeah.
But he was easily the worst thing in that.
I thought actually for that movie, I thought he was the best thing in it.
Really?
Yeah. 'Cause
Oh.
I was like, at least he's just a
I
complete
should have to
psycho.
go.
And
I should go back and listen to our show. I thought he was the absolute worst.
I was like, he's at least a complete psycho. I thought the absolute worst thing in that movie was Will Smith. It's like, what are you doing in this movie? Yeah, like you're
Yeah, Deadshot.
yeah, you're just that's just like a waste.
You guys know his name.
Yeah,
Nerds.
Hey, I was a comic book nerd as a kid, but so was everyone else. I didn't realize this. So there's a show on TV called Riverdale. That's supposed to be the
Yeah.
Archie comic.
No, okay, so every character.
I guess we're done with
Wow,
Thor.
we're even like beyond the crow here.
Yeah, I guess we're done with Thor. So 2 thumbs up, 2
Yeah,
thumbs
it's funny how we're
sideways.
This is about Thor, and we've gotten in the whole comic book universe with everything, but that's what it's about. But no, Riverdale, from what I understand, all the characters are named after the characters in the Archie comic, but it's like a murder mystery type of show.
Ah, gotcha.
So it's not Archie, but there's a link to it, apparently.
Gotcha. Well, you know what? The reason for me anyway, the reason we've got away from Thor because it was so bad.
Well,
No.
So I didn't.
It's
I didn't,
not bad.
I didn't
It's
think
just-
it was bad.
it was just not good.
But I think the reason we're getting away from it is there's really not that much to kind of talk about. It's a kind of fun, flashy movie, a bunch of kind of throwaway jokes. But I don't know, hard to kind of like have a serious discussion about it.
It made me
for
turn
an
around
hour.
on Chris Hemsworth. I never really liked him.
Dude, he's awesome.
He's actually funny.
He's funny.
Like, just make him do comedy stuff. Don't make him.
I think that this whole movie was a vanity piece for him because I think that in his contract for the whole Marvel thing, they probably had to do a number of Thor movies, and this was his third one or whatever it is. It's like, we have to do another Thor movie, so let's do this one.
This one has worked the best out of all 3.
Well, and he apparently he always wanted to do comedy, so they're like, okay,
but
you
he's
can do a comedy.
always
as
been
Thor.
sort of comedic in the other ones too.
He's the funniest thing in that shitty Ghostbusters movie.
I never saw
He's
that.
in the shitty
Oh,
Ghostbusters
yeah,
movie.
Yeah.
I refuse to watch it.
He's the best thing in it. I mean,
never-
that says a lot about the movie right there.
never saw that one.
But I don't know.
Yeah,
like
don't waste your time.
Captain America now is my least favorite Avenger. He's the most boring.
Oh,
It's
He's the
always
worst.
been the worst.
Well, I thought Thor was the worst, but yeah, now it's Captain America.
Best Avengers character is Black Panther.
We'll see when that movie comes out.
That movie, that's been one movie. I get the feeling that the movie's going to be bad because the trailer is really good. I
haven't seen the trailer.
The trailer for
I-
Black Panther
I-
is excellent, but
I
I think,
saw the trailer, but I think I texted through most of it, so I didn't catch too much of it.
and you know what? So with the actors that are in it, because Chadwick Boseman is a good actor, and then Lupita Nyong'o and all that, but they're I get the feeling that it's going to have a really, really serious tone to it, like overly serious for a superhero movie.
Like too much?
Yeah, I think it's going to be too much. Like, because he's going to be dealing with demons with his father being dead, and now he's the leader and all
Again
that
with
stuff.
the daddy issues.
Yeah, of course there's daddy issues. There's always daddy issues.
Got to be.
I bet you they make it not good.
You haven't seen the trailer yet?
I have not seen the trailer.
The trailer is so awesome with the Run the Jewels in it. The music, it's awesome. You got to check that out.
Yeah, I would love to watch a good superhero movie.
He looks cautiously skeptical.
Well, I think we should just go ahead and say we're never going to really see a good superhero movie. We're going to see either adequate or complete crap.
Well,
Logan. I still really like Logan. I think Logan's great.
I have rewatched Logan, and I keep trying to like it. I like it a lot better than the first time I saw it. But it's just
the first time you saw it on a piece of shit little stream with like 30 pixels.
Yeah. But even like I've seen.
Can't imagine why that would happen.
I've seen Logan 4 times now. Twice I saw it in theater.
Oh well, I've only seen it once.
Yeah, and
so see, guys, Shark is a man of honor. So anytime he streams a movie illegally, he then goes and pays for it in a movie theater later.
Well, you have to. Like I streamed Thor, And I was like, I can't hear anything that's going on, so I got to go to the theater and check this out. So that's why. But
cams are terrible.
Yeah,
I can't do cams.
Logan,
Yeah, cams are
I thought
bad.
Patrick Stewart was awesome.
Patrick Stewart is great. Yeah.
Yeah, but the rest of it, I was like, yeah.
Oh, I love Logan.
I don't like the idea of Logan of Wolverine being an old character that can barely fight. Wolverine is supposed to be a badass.
I think that's.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a pretty original take on.
I think it's great. Yeah.
They got to expire at some point.
It was good closure.
They better not. I hope they don't. I'm sure they will. But I'm going to be super bummed out when they reboot Wolverine.
Yeah, they've already got the New Mutants coming out. So
probably.
There's a bunch of.
It's just that was such a good ending to. I didn't see a lot of the Wolverine movies, so I can't really say. Yeah. But I thought that was a good way to end
bad.
it.
They're bad.
From what I've heard, they're bad. So I never liked the X-Men movies. So
Amy, who was your favorite character, superhero character?
In movie wise or in actual comics?
In the Archie comics.
I would say movie wise.
If we're going Marvel, I'm gonna have to go with Iron Man because there is some disconnect with Tony Stark in the comic, but I really felt like of all the comic characters, like Robert Downey Jr. really is Iron Man. It's like you don't even see him. For me on that. Now for DC,
does it bother you guys when because you both have apparently read the comics growing up and whatnot? I don't think did you, Paul? I didn't read it. I didn't read anything.
I did mostly X-Men and Spider-Man.
Okay.
A couple of other ones here and
there. Does
it
bother you guys when like the movies are different from the comics, or like there's
completely?
It really bothers you?
I don't know them that I never got into it that deeply to pick up on details like that.
Me, not so much because I try to separate it because I already know it's kind of like when you do a book to a movie
right.
to whatever you want to do it. It's always going to be different. So I try to disconnect, and I do try to connect what they did right, and I look at more of opportunities on what they could improve on. Granted, I can't call the studio and be like, hey, but I would. I don't know how they do it, but the thing of it is, if they can get more background and more likeness to the character, or more truth to the character, I would respect that more. Like if they take, let's say, Iron Man 1 and it sucked, and let's say they do a second one, but they start making improvements where it's starting to kind of go along the comic line, then you have my faith back. But to be honest with you, I try to keep them separate because I already know it's not going to be like the comic. But how are they going to do it as a movie, know?
Are you listening, Hollywood? Stop molesting women and take some notes. We're just about out of time, guys. Sorry to interrupt this. So, Eric, kind of thumb sideways for you.
It is C+.
C+. I would say B+. Shark.
I would say D-.
D-.
Wow.
Amy, real quick.
I'm honestly going to go with B+ on there.
All right. So I guess an average of a C. Thanks for tuning in, guys. This is Rekt Reviews on Intertalk Radio. See you next time.
See ya.
Bye.
This is Jackie Bertoni from Jackie's Groove. Come join me weekly on my journey through the music business as I take you behind the velvet rope, interviewing industry notables such as Al Di Meola, Michael McDonald, and Al Jarreau, to name but a few. Listen to their stories on being in the studios recording #1 hits and onto the stages throughout the globe. Allow me to be your music historian. You can hear me live every Monday at 2 p.m. and every Wednesday at 12 noon Pacific Standard Time or 24/7 on jackiesgroove.com. Ready to get your groove on?
Hi, this is Tim Dolbear from Eclectica Studios. I'm a full-time mixing and recording engineer. I work with Grammy winners, labels, and indie artists, using state-of-the-art digital mixing and restoration tools and the very best in analog gear. Really, though, it's my ability to bring tracks to life and fulfill your vision for your music. This has made me sought after by producers and artists worldwide. So spend your time working on music and not chasing a mix down a rabbit hole. Go to timdolbear.com and check out our free one-song mix offer.
You know what's all around you every waking moment of your life? Marketing. You're choking on it. I'm Scott Robertson, and when it comes to strategic PR, branding, and marketing, I've seen it all. And actually, I'm still seeing it because bad marketing never sleeps. Join me each week on May the Best Brand Win, right here on Intertalk Radio, and learn how to make the marketing for your brand unforgettable.
Are you serious about your music? Are you ready to run with the big dogs? The experts at Pitbull Audio have the gear to get you into the game. From leading manufacturers like Mesa Boogie, Fender, Pioneer, and American Audio. To sound your best, you need the best. Pitbull Audio can deliver in rehearsal, on stage, and into the big time. Dropping beats, shredding guitar, or making the crowd roar. Whatever you dream, Pitbull Audio can help make it happen. We are Pitbull Audio. We want you to play it loud. PitbullAudio.com.